We're here with head football coach Walt Wells following the Colonels' 27-17 loss to Southern Utah. We'll start with Coach's opening statements about the game. We'll open the floor to questions from the media. Coach?
Yeah, credit goes to Southern Utah on a really good 60-minute performance. I thought we played well for 30 minutes and then came out in the second half and didn't do the things that we needed to do to win the football game, and that's both coaching and playing. And so we've got to go to work and figure out what it is about halftime that we've got to improve and get better at and get ready for the next two games and finish this thing out the way it needs to be finished out. So with that, I'll open it up for any questions.
Zach will be student reporter. Miles showed great flashes in the first half, being able to escape the pocket, bring more time for the play. How can that be carried into the second half?
Well, I think, what they did, how we were working against number 7, who's the nation's leading sack getter. We shut him down, which gave us a chance in the first half to do some good things. They came back and did some things in the second half, and we've got to understand what they're doing a little better so we can funnel him where he needs to go and get open. Then we have to get open and make sure that the reads are there for him to be able to complete the ball. But you're right, he was making some good plays on broken plays, which is not really how you design it to go, but that if you watch college football, that's something that you talk to your defensive coordinators about, is broken plays are the ones that kill you most.
Jenna Evans, student reporter, what positives did you take away from the game today?
Well, I think there's some guys that played that haven't played all year that had to go and play the whole game, and I don't know, I got to see the film, but I didn't see too much damage they did. So they're getting some reps. I think in the first half you've got to look at the positives that we did offensively and did some special teams positives, and then we've got to improve. And then in the second half, our defense got some stops there at the end to give us an opportunity, and we've got to figure out why we couldn't convert our third downs to get them to where we need to. Obviously, penalties hurt us a little bit. We had a brand new center in the game, and I'm sure he did a good job when I watched the film, but he had some mishaps on the offsides penalties, and so we've got to continue to just, settle him down and get him where he is.
You mentioned goalie. What was his preparation kind of like, for his collegiate start as a center?
Yeah, we found out 2 hours before the game that one guy wasn't going to play, so we decided to that our best 5 would be Gully going into center and Lim Coppinger going over to right guard, and that made it it is what it is, right? We prepared him all week. When we do good on good stuff, we had him in there with the ones just in case. You never know, you try to prepare for Coppinger, who's been starting. Maybe he gets hurt, maybe his helmet comes off, whatever. You want to make sure that he's gone against our good players to make sure he's ready. So we did all that. Obviously, Coach Ravelette met with him extra because at center you make all the calls, you make all the run checks, all the pass checks or protection checks, and so I felt like he was getting us into the right stuff, especially in the first half. You got to look at it a little more in the second half. He probably missed a couple things, but that's growing up, and I think he's going to be a really talented, good player here. Excited that he got to play like that. I hated that we lost the game, but he probably increased his value for us tremendously tonight.
Coach, obviously disappointed with the loss, but after you flush this one, what's the message to the team? 2 games left in the season, senior day next week against Abilene Christian. What's your message to the guys in getting them ready for these final 2 games of a tough season?
Well, EKU football is a matter of pride. You got to go out and play for pride. I think it's easier said than done. You got to go out and you got to encourage these young men. You got to show them where they made mistakes, build them, and hopefully we'll continue to do better. Obviously, Abilene's going to come in here and run a different offense and different defense, so they've got to, flush what they remembered from this game and move on to the next game and be ready for that and go out and play for each other and play for pride and play for a non-losing season.